we are looking at hundreds and hundreds of data points. It goes back 10 and 20 and 30 plus years to look at the patterns of that particular homeowner to see exactly what may be going on with that person at that point in time, because we want to create a predictive analysis as to why they may have to have some type of motivation to sell at the end of the day. Traditionally, real estate agents have always used methods of prospecting where you can only really choose maybe a handful of data, and it doesn't really get you to the point where you're looking at something granular. I've seen first and foremost how hard it is to actually go and zero in on that one property that makes sense. We are working to take that time-consuming element out of it to make it as easy as possible for the user at the end of the day.
So this is the new way of lead gen, right, Gregory? Like this is the future of lead gen. It's called intelligent lead gen, as opposed to what's happening right now.
This is everything they never.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. We're taking a little bit of a shift from our usual content and our usual types of guests today. And I have two special guests. Being your AI expert for the real estate industry, I wanted to bring you owners of AI and tech companies so that we can talk about the products and the platforms that are being built. So I have two guests today. We have Chris Groenveld and Gregory Ardbalava. I hope I didn't butcher your names way too much. Now, you guys own three key companies in the real estate space. You have 3dapartment.com, you have Listing 3D, and the one that we've been talking most about, which is PropertyPulse.ai. So, first of all, thank you so much for being here. And I'm really happy that you took the time out. You guys are based in New York City right now, and I'm up here in Canada. So thank you for taking the time for us Canadians. Even though this podcast is listened to literally worldwide, we are hosted by KGCI, which is Real Estate on Air, owned by EXPI. So everybody's going to hear you and what you have to share, regardless of where I am. And yeah, let's talk about the companies and exactly what they look like and what they do.
Yeah, no, thank you for having us. It's a lot of fun. As far as the companies, I think the way we see the reality in the world is that we see the web. Our goal is to make the web three-dimensional. We see the internet in general becoming 3D and AI driven. And every product that we built, as far as the companies, we focus specifically around those two things. The problem that we're solving is basically the world around us is three-dimensional, but the internet is still flat. And then we started with the revolutionize.com 5-6 years ago. I don't even remember at this point. It's time is learned. And essentially, the idea was let's bring computer vision and artificial intelligence to build 3D dimensional spatial environments and help real estate agents to list these properties and have users to experience the world in 3D. Back then, when we started building the product, there weren't no accessibility for 3D assets to be displayed on the internet. What I mean is you couldn't just upload 3D URL on MLS or Zillow or Realtor. It was just non-existent. They didn't want to accept 3D. The website was not built for that. And our goal was let's digitize at that point we're digitizing the city of Boston. Let's digitize and have every apartment, every property visually 3D captured. And we built at 3dapartment.com. And at 3dapartment.com, everyone can just go in and right now, or just use this search. It moves to user experience. Not only the internet today is flat, but most of the time the way you experience the internet is you are alone. what I mean by alone, you by yourself looking on the screen
Mhm.
and get a feedback by comments or likes, but you're still experiencing alone. And the next generation of internet, what's been called Web 3.0, supposed to change that. We should be able to experience the internet the way we experience the lives with other people. So the search, the internet will become multi-user experience. And today, at 3dapartment.com, you can search properties not only in 3D environment, but you can also search with your friends at the same time. Similar how you would see properties in real life, it's a gamified. You can see where I'm looking at. I can see which room are you at. It's like in a game. And that was a 3D apartment. And when COVID happened, we grow X10. When we were flying, we go really fast.
Mhm. Right.
And that required us to create a network across the United States. And the listing 3D.com was byproduct of 3D apartments, where as little as 60 seconds you can book on demand Photoshop across the United States, and it will be delivered in 24 hours with our proprietary 3D player, multi-user experience. We're the first one that actually also being able to add and remove 3D objects inside of the 3D environments, creating visual staging,
Decluttering. Yep.
decluttering. We have a partnership with the4.com where we can put their furniture, you can buy this furniture or lease the furniture directly from just seeing the property. And I'm going as far as the years and time flows so really fast, and then we all reached a point where the inflation was going up super high, and then the mortgage rates, the monetary policy, all start kicking in, and slowly that affected the inventory. And then it reached the highest, the lowest inventory level we ever seen in the last 10, 20 years probably. But where is the problem? There's an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at that point, our main core business were affected because our main core businesses were so dependent on the flow of inventory, and then it's gone. We were looking at this and asking ourselves what could be done. And with my experience in the machine learning model, and one of the first products we built together as well, Chris, is with the boutique firm with the data analysis. Basically, the idea was born as the latest advances in computer vision as well as machine learning and analytics. The idea was that why don't we deploy machine learning models, train it based on the historical sales data, and try to identify the patterns. Which property is more likely to list in the next 120 days, next 100 days, and why? So we went back 40 years and we're looking very nitty-gritty and looking into every detail as possible. The property's characteristics, homeowners scenario, homeowners age, homeowners equity level on the property, the type of the mortgage. Really, there's thousands of different scenarios, and try to piece those together and see if that were actually impactful for homeowners or the property from the angle of the demographic shifts and the appreciation in the neighborhood and equity in the neighborhood that will force to go list. I mean, we as a species, we think that we have a free will and nothing can affect us in terms of decision making. But the reality is that there are underlying forces and gravity that affect the decision making, and that could be even
Predicted, it can be analyzed. Yeah.
right. Those signals can be identified. Obviously, we can predict stuff, all of the divorce.
Yeah.
Because it's such a small percentage in terms of overall volume of transactions, what people sell, that it's not even interesting to focus on that. And those type of transactions usually take a lot, and for real estate agents, a lot of hoops to go through to be able to get all the products together and sell the property. Yes, the homegrown product still has Matterports in terms of the quality, but we use approaches, so to speak. They do utilize, we do work with the Matterport, and Matterport is a great company and product. They chose to have the interface and model closed. There's always closed and open models.
Yeah.
For example, Apple is closed model, Android is open model, and Microsoft is open model. In terms of what we see is important and where we disagree on the fundamental level of Matterport is the ownership of the data. The ownership of data, imagine you capture photos on your phone and those photos belongs to Apple. Essentially, that's what happens with the Matterport. Everything that you capture through the product, camera, it will belongs to Matterport. As soon as you stop paying the Matterport, you can no longer use the product. And we believe that essentially, in general, as a company and as a society, we all tired of our data being utilized in a way that we don't have access to, and as well as we don't get paid for it. At the very least, you should be able to own the data that you should pay for it, and independently store it. So to answer your question, yes, we do work in that where a lot of tools on our platform are uploaded by real estate agents that use Matterport. But our product is hardware agnostic. We're not focusing on which camera you use to capture. We're focusing on the player itself. Imagine YouTube, where you upload different types of recordings of the videos. Doesn't matter what type of format you use to upload, it will display and then you will be able to see it. And that's our end goal with our product is for you to capture it. Doesn't matter what product or camera you use, you will be able to migrate on our platform, and at the end of the day, you own the data that you upload to our products, and you will be able to turn it off, reactivate, or independently store it. But the environment is one-to-one, it's similar to Matterport. It's a similar experience.
We have a virtual tour component that Gregory created. It has the ability for users to go into a Zoom-like function. They create their avatar, and then they can actually send an invite to their friend or their family or their partner, and you can go right into the space together and view the property together.
I love that. Yeah.
Well,
Verbella, yeah. So EXPI owns Verbella. Are you guys familiar with our metaverse of for agents and everything? We can go to the beach, we can hang out on a boat, we can do whatever we want. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. They can actually go through the space and check it out and be virtual.
Okay. This is what I'm really interested in. JJ, I want you to listen to this. Their newest company, which is PropertyPulse.ai. And this is you're starting with data analysis, a massive amount of data, and you've got all these different data points. So you have mortgage information, Chris, tell me a little bit about all of the data points that you're feeding in, and then what the end goal is of this company, because these listeners, you guys want to hear this. This is a game changer for our industry.
So what's best about it at the end of the day is, yes, we are targeting hundreds of thousands of points of data. I would probably have to be with you for the next several hours to go over each bit and piece of data that we are looking at. So I can't get into every specific, but we are looking at hundreds and hundreds of data points, like Gregory said, that goes back 10 and 20 and 30 plus years to look at the patterns of that particular homeowner to see exactly what may be going on with that person at that point in time, because we want to create a predictive analysis as to why they may have to have some type of motivation to sell at the end of the day. And traditionally, real estate agents have always used methods of prospecting where you typically go into a product, you select your categories as far as the criteria, and you can only really choose maybe a handful of data at the end of the day, and it doesn't really get you to the point where you're looking at something granular. So what we're ultimately doing is we're giving you that needle in the haystack right up front, as opposed to you having to go through all those haystacks. And I could speak to that because I'm a 15-year vet in real estate. I've built telemarketing divisions. I've built prospecting teams across investment and real estate brokerage. So I've seen first and foremost how hard it is to actually go and zero in on that one property that makes sense, and it's super super time consuming, which we are working our butts off to take that time consuming element out of it to make it as easy as possible for the user at the end of the day.
Yeah, so this is the new way of lead gen, right, Gregory? Like this is the future of lead gen. It's called intelligent lead gen as opposed to what's happening right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of things gonna change very soon in how we do this. As far as you might have and I might have our own replica of ourselves. They're gonna speak to each other and connect and schedule the appointments and so on and so
Yeah.
forth. It's not too far away from it. Instead of having a phone number that we share, we'll just share our replica, digital replica of ourselves. So bringing back to data and the machine learning model, most of the large language models are trained and good. It's like ChatGPT, the way it's built the synthesis of the language and the words, because it predicts based on the data what words are going to be used and which words are best to use and when and how. Similar to here, we've built our own proprietary neural network and machine learning model that understands the behaviors that matches the patterns that we're able to identify in 40 years of the transaction history on the SQL level, on the property level, and identify why some of the properties were selling, some others not, and what were their situation at that point of time when the property were selling. And as I said, we think that we do have free will, but a lot of stuff that we do are dictated by the environments. And how we think, what we decide to do, is dictated by environment or signals from the stress signals or financial signals that are forcing us to make that decision. If house next to you were saw appreciation and sold for $6 million plus, and you have equity 100% on your property, and you can exit the property with plus $10 million, you are start thinking, what can you do with this market? I mean, you are forced to pay if all your other neighbors are selling. It's not necessarily that that's going to happen, but there is a high probability they can be assigned to. And this is another thing. One thing that once we deploy our machine learning model, which uses different types of models, for boundary forest, healing network, regression model, and we explore independent all these signals, similarly how Google indexes their websites. And then we run lead analysis on everything that is being scored good or yes, it's gonna sell. And then once we run lead analysis, we identify the level of urgency of selling from low to high. Yes, it might sell, but it might sell in a year or two. But our goal is to assign at least to the agents that within the next up to 100 days, they will sell the property, and then urgency will dictate based on the situation individually. It might be the type of mortgage homeowner has. So our own mortgage, those have already started short-term mortgage flipping properties, and it's coming to this
Yeah.
different scenarios. It's different scenarios, and this is more on the math side, and most of the predictions. We do come not to the certain degree about that, but there is the level of depending on the type of homeowner, the age of the homeowner, like that. We're not yet cross-referencing. There is a way to understand what type of, if you search for certain things online in certain zip code, but we're not yet, deploying this type of data,
Oh,
on
Rudy,
the
that would be
behavioral, but
so cool.
on the very,
I love that. Then you're serving up the lead and also telling the agent how to convert them as well. I think that would be a winner, you guys. Just an
You're
idea.
hired.
yeah, you are hired. We are.
I love that.
It's a great idea. There are some challenges with that, but essentially, yes, it's possible. It's possible. We do provide type of signals like property or homeowner more likely to come on market soon, and then based on those signals, then we provide individual lead nurturing strategy with 20 touch points, starting with the email signal, with the handwritten cards. Everything is that you don't even need to think what do you need to say or what do you need to do. It's literally given to you. And then now we're taking the next step, which in our product development, where we use an agent, all you need to do is basically connect the email address, maybe phone number. So we'll do the rest. We will generate those touch points. All you're going to be have. So you will only need to do is take that from us once the lead is ready to schedule the in-house showing. Because yes, we don't want to do extra work. Even if the lead says I'm ready to sell, sometimes agents don't call them next day or immediately. It takes time for them to reach out to the homeowner for many multiple reasons. Something happened during the day, and so on and so forth. And the goal for our product is to make it so easy to use that anyone meaning any agents, even if it's newbie, will be able to be successful with our product. It's what we provide besides the analytics and the AI sell leads. We also provide a nurturing strategy to every lead that we assign to you. So then now what we focus on our back end and development is how can we now use what we've built to give the where agents just connect the email address and we do the nurturing of those leads. So we do the outreach. We can even deploy voice AI to call me with.
Okay, so this is available in the US currently, and your plan is to obviously bring it to Canada. We are talking about you guys coming to the event that I'm hosting in September. So hopefully we can get Canada ready. And what does this cost right now? A US agent, what does a service like this look like in terms of an investment?
So we have a few different tiers. We specifically wanted to build the product to be affordable for each different type of agent because, as you know, you have your New York City market and your Miami market and your California market, which are extremely high in price. But you also have Ohio and Tennessee and Pennsylvania, where it's a little bit cheaper to sell a house, right? So we wanted to make it affordable for everybody. So we're starting at $500. $850 and $1,250 a month. Those different tiers are also based on the activity of that market and also the that particular area, right? So if you're in New York City, you're probably going to be at the highest tier.
Yeah, well, this is great because when you have your data for Canada, I have your case study, your first test run here. Jennifer Jones has one of the largest teams in Canada, so she will happily test out when you are Canada ready. Just gonna throw that out there. Because this is wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Of course.
absolutely.
One thing that I did want to touch on was we didn't even really talk much about like the interface. What I think is incredible that we've done is if you look at most products across the industry, they only ever do one thing great, and it's typically data at the end of the day. We've been able to incorporate data and the user experience to make it a seamless interaction for the user so that you're really looking at the most pertinent information that you as a real estate agent need to be looking at to transact on that property when you need to. And a lot of that came from myself and Gregory's experience building a lot of this CRM technology probably over the last 10 years. We've had a lot of time to really kind of mess around and see what worked and what didn't work, and also take a look at some of the other products that were out there and see if they were good or not, and how they flowed. So our workflow is actually really, really great.
That's awesome. Well, you know what? The listeners, you guys are, this is the cutting edge technology. This is why you guys listen to this podcast, to learn about what's the next biggest thing in AI that's going to actually make a serious impact on your business. And this is going to make a serious impact on your business. So get the hell on board with AI. Guys, I'm going to put all of your socials. I'm going to link everything in the podcast. So if you could send that to me, and hopefully everybody in Canada can experience this sooner than later, Gregory. So let's get Canada going with our data. And I know I've talked to you guys about where you can source your data already. So hopefully you're having some luck with that. And I really appreciate you guys coming on the podcast today. We're all big fans of AI on this podcast here for many, many different reasons. And if you are not using AI yet, you are already so far behind. Okay.
Yeah.
But here it is. You can catch up really quick because AI is advancing so quickly that everybody who's ahead of you will not be ahead of you next month. Just get on board and join the party because the water's great over here. Thank you guys so much. And it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank
See
you.
you guys later.